Hi, this is Mona. Today I'm going to make this little zipper pouch that you can attach to your keys or whatever. And all you're going to need is 2 squares left over from a charm pack. So that'd be 2 5-inch squares. A number 3 zipper, or if you want to use zipper by the yard, you can. And your zipper should be bigger than your squares. And a piece for lining. I'm using nylon ripstop. It's 5 across, 10 down. And if I put on fold over elastic for the D-ring holder or the little ring, and one of these little rings. I also have this kind of ring that just opens up. Well, I can't open it, but it opens up. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your 2 squares and sew them together. And if it's directional, make sure it's in the direction you want. So I'm just going to sew these together. Oops. All right, there's step 1. If you want, you can open up your seams and top stitch on both sides. I'm not going to. So now I'm going to take my number 3 zipper and I'm going to lay it down on top of the top of this. And I'm just going to stitch it on. Now this is not my original pattern. These people are making these all over the place, but this is the way I do it. I do not like to put binding on the inside of a bag. So this is how I figured out how to do it. Okay, now we're going to put the nylon ripstop under, whoops, on top. And then we're going to stitch this on. And you don't have to use nylon ripstop. You can use whatever lining you want. I did not use any interfacing on this because it's just going to be a quick gift to throw either some nail polish or gift card or whatever in. Now we're just going to fold that back, line it up, and then top stitch. And yes, your lining is longer than the front, which is fine because that's what I want. Okay, now we're going to fold the main piece up. And we're going to take this back piece up and line it up, and we're going to sew it on as well. Okay, trim all your threads. Now I'm going to open this up. Oops, I still got threads. To do the top stitch. So I'm going to open up the zipper all the way, turn this right side out. And line up. And if you forget this step, it's no big deal. I did it on quite a few of them, so. Oops. All right, so now we're just going to press that out of the way. And we're going to stitch it down on the side here. Come on, get down there. Oh, I got to do it this way to get in there, so. And make sure you don't have any puckers. Everything's out of the way. And make sure you don't run over this little zipper thingy. All right, now we're going to take it back the way it was. Oh no, we want it wrong side out. Okay, now let's bring this back. All right. So now what I like to do is just mark down where I want that to be. About an inch would work. Where's my... Oh, here it is. And that might look crooked, but it's really not. It's just the way it's sitting. So I'm going from the top. Actually, I got to go the other way. Wait. Yeah. So we're just going to go down an inch. Mark down an inch. Put a mark. Put a mark over here. That's just so you know where to fold it up. Then you're going to pinch where those marks are and finger press. You could press this if you want. And then you're going to grab the lining and pull it up to there so that there's no pull it even. And then I just put a clip in the middle to hold it. And that looks good enough for me. So now, oops, this one needs to go up a little bit more. Yep, this side here. There we go. So make sure both sides are up there, even. Now, and this is supposed to be longer, just a tad longer. You're going to push your zipper inside. Now we are just going to start at the top, right there, and sew to the bottom. Make sure you're not sewing over your zipper pull. Now you're going to sew right off of the top, the main. Then you're going to turn, and you're only going to sew on the nylon on your lining. This one I must have pulled too much up there. All right, so now I'm going to come over here, back stitch, and go up down this side. Make sure everything's all lined up. Let's get this fixed. Now get in there, guy. Okay, so that's done. Trim off your threads. Now you're just going to cut this straight down. And you're going to cut straight across the bottom, not through your stitches. And I completely cut that bottom off. So now there's a hole down at the bottom of the lining. And go up the other side, and you're going to cut that off. Now I did forget to put the D-ring in where the zipper would close. So you would put it in right here. And I like to put it up above. So I will seam rip this little part and put it in there. Okay, I seam ripped a little hole. Now I'm going to insert my little ring. And then I'm just going to sew across there again. Make sure your D-ring's out of the way. Get a back stitch. And back stitch there. And you can trim off, this is just double fold elastic, trim that off. So now all you have left is to turn it right side out. You're going to reach your fingers inside the lining. Oops, I didn't cut it all the way. Okay, you're going to reach in and turn it through there, through the hole in the bottom that you cut when you were sewing it together. And if you see any extra threads, you can get rid of them. Now this is the point you're going to want to make sure you poke everything out, all the corners and everything. All right, and then we're going to pull this through the hole and get it fixed. And make sure you poke the outside real good before you sew the bottom, or sew it, because it's hard once it's done. And you can use a chopstick or whatever. So there, it's basically done, except for the lining. So now you just pull the lining out. But you're going to push the main back in because you do not want to sew through that. And poke those out. Okay, now you're just going to tuck those in. And you're going to sew across the bottom. Okay, and I'll just fold my lining, or my tag in half. Tuck this back in again. Put in my tag. You want your tag sticking out and straight. Now you're just going to sew that shut on the bottom without sewing through your main. You're only sewing through the lining. And right there. And you should use matching thread. I'm just using this because it's what was on the thing and I'm not changing it. Okay, cut your threads. Turn it back out. And it's done. So you're just going to turn it back outside. Make sure you grab and poke that in there. And there it is, all finished. And here you go. It's all finished. Thanks for watching.